It's 11 p.m. and these are the headlines. Trying to conceal oligarchy policies driving France towards poverty by including Algeria in a smear campaign is the strategy of the right in complicity with the media. We will unveil all of this shortly. These Sahrawi people celebrate today the 49th anniversary of the national unity in the refugee camps. Messages of encouragement calling for pursuing the resistance and the determination to fight until independence were put forward. And a conference on the natural resources of Western Sahara was held, the opportunity to highlight the latest achievements gained after the unprecedented decision of the Court of Justice of the European Union, which invalidated 2 trade agreements between Morocco and the European Union. Zionist students can study in Morocco's universities. Another normalization agreement highly denounced by Moroccans but totally ignored by the Makhzen. Welcome back, everyone. In order to divert the attention of the French people from oligarchies' policies, which are driving their country towards poverty, the strategies of the right wing in complicity with the media are engaged in a smear campaign towards Algeria that became the French television and outlets' nightmare. Algeria is making its way to maintain the pillars of economic and social development, making strides towards achieving gains on the national and international level. Yasin Hamdi explains.
While our country is on the right path to self-sufficiency with decisions that meet the aspirations of the Algerian people, it seems that the complicity between the oligarchy that we chased out of Algeria and the one that currently governs France is getting more disturbing. In the past, the French leaders have supported a corrupted regime that was ready to sacrifice our dignity for consular benefits and other advantages. It seems that the French media are obsessed with Algeria as they mention our country several times, haunted by a dark colonial period when they exploited us using violence. Today, they're talking about the positive results of colonization and the benefits of civilization and other nonsense. The truth is, the Algerian people was victim of genocide, and no need for nationalist speeches to prove it. The testimonies of the colonization military officers are more than enough. And among all this madness and nonsense, the voice of the writers rises to affirm that Algeria is a great brotherly country. Yes, the man who said this had the courage to do it on the studio where such things are avoided. What if, just for once, they looked at our country without prejudice and without taking into consideration the past? The result could be a bright future full of friendship and hope for the youth of the 2 countries. Unfortunately, this vision seems impossible to achieve because they want us to use the same policies that destroyed our industry by forcing us to import everything from France. And that's where the dream ends. In France, those who speak positively about Algeria have no chance to access power because skills and experience don't matter. The most important thing is to show their hatred towards Algeria. The time to rewrite our common history with reconciliation and mutual respect is not there yet.
Now, the Sahrawi people celebrated today the 49th anniversary of the national unity in the refugee camps, an event through which messages of encouragement calling for the continuation of the resistance and the determination to fight until independence were transmitted. Najah Tayyar has the details.
Die united rather than live divided. It is the slogan chanted by the Sahrawis and the refugee camps celebrating the 49th anniversary of the national unity. This celebration is dedicated to the historical day of October 12, 1975, where all participants, including the Sahrawi leaders from the Spanish-established General Assembly, declared their support for the Polisario Front, recognizing it as the sole legitimate representative of the Sahrawi people. May God give us triumph, the Sahrawi people and the Polisario Front. Under the aegis of Brahim Ghali, we will continue to fight, including the armed struggle. The Sahrawi people will stand firm in the face of all machinations. Our people are motivated and firmly determined to continue their decisive struggle for freedom and independence after decades of sacrifice and suffering. Today, the focus is on organizing a self-determination referendum, making it urgent to address the expansionist and imperialist ambitions of the Moroccan regime towards the Sahrawi people. The celebration of the 49th anniversary of the proclamation of Sahrawi national unity is also an opportunity to bring these issues to light. The Sahrawi people in the refugee camps, abroad or in the occupied territories, remember and remain attached to this anniversary of the national unity, a people united by a fierce struggle for nearly half a century. The message is the same in the occupied Sahrawi territories, refugee camps, and even abroad. Continue the fight with determination and strength until full independence and recovery of the sovereignty over all stolen Sahrawi lands.
And the National Institute for Global Strategy Studies hosted today a conference on the natural resources of Western Sahara at the heart of tensions in the region and the subject for legal battles. With the participation of Algerian experts and Sahrawi speakers, it was the opportunity to highlight the latest achievements gained by the Sahrawi cause after the unprecedented decision of the Court of Justice of the European Union, which invalidated two trade agreements concluded between Morocco and the European Union, putting an end to the plundering of the Sahrawi wealth.
The historic decision of the Court of Justice of the European Union, which definitively cancelled on October 4th the trade agreements concluded between Morocco and the European Union illegally in the occupied Sahrawi territories. This decision represents a victory of law and reinforces the justice of the Sahrawi cause. This was affirmed by the participants during a conference organized at the National Institute of Global Strategy Studies with the theme "The Natural Resources of Western Sahara, the heart of tensions in the region and objects of legal battles." The European Court of Justice ratified and confirmed that the Sahrawi Republic and Morocco are two distinct and separate countries from which the European Union does not recognize the sovereignty of Morocco over Western Sahara. The court, by cancelling the agreements with Morocco, has confirmed the right of the Sahrawi people to self-determination and confirmed that the Polisario Front legitimately represents the interests of the Sahrawi people before the European Court of Justice. Therefore, put an end to the judicial process that we started against the agreement signed between the European Union and Morocco since 2000. The judgments of the European Court of Justice of October 4th, 2024 are enforceable, so we must work on the implementation of these judgments, and this implementation is a shame for the international community, so we must find ways to advocate before the member states of the European Union to enforce the judgments of the European Court of Justice to the letter. It is now up to the Sahrawi Arab Democratic Republic to enforce its sovereignty, and Morocco, being a country that blocks the United Nations process aimed at decolonizing the territory of Western Sahara. The Court of Justice of the European Union has inflicted an unexpected damage not only on Morocco but also on all the countries that support the occupation of the Sahrawi lands. It's a fight where the Sahrawi people are not alone. I believe that the European judges have demonstrated that Macron and Sanchez didn't have the right to align themselves with Morocco in the name of European Union. So they have also sent a big message to the European legislative legal institution, the European Parliament, because at a given moment with corruption, some deputies have become the spokesperson of Morocco, and they have passed precisely these agreements that the judges have cancelled. These court rulings thus represent reaffirmation of the right of the Sahrawi people to self-determination in accordance with United Nations resolutions and strengthen their tireless struggle to obtain their independence.
The works of the International Forum for Youth and Solidarity with Western Sahara are still ongoing in Bilbao. People from all over the world came to support the Sahrawi cause. They hailed the determination of the Sahrawi youth to continue its fight for independence. Yasin Hamdi reports.
It is the third edition of the International Forum for Youth and Solidarity with Western Sahara. a three-day forum with 220 participants from 31 countries who came to express their support to the Sahrawi cause.
The Basque people has supported the Sahrawi people for years. We try to find peaceful solutions to the struggle of the Sahrawi people to recover its land, relying on justice. Our position towards the Sahrawi people is clear. We stand against the violations of human rights. As a people that suffered against totalitarian regime, we always try to find peace and justice. We had the occasion to visit the Sahrawi refugee camps where we witnessed their living conditions.
Under the slogan, the youth builds bridges for a free Western Sahara, this forum is also the occasion to promote the Sahrawi cause at the international level and mobilize more people in support to the Polisario Front.
Our main goal is to set a network in solidarity with the Sahrawi cause because it's an important step to ensure a solidarity movement across the world. The second objective is to reveal the Makhzen practices and support the Sahrawi people through international law.
The International Forum for Youth and Solidarity with Western Sahara includes a series of various events such as debates, workshops and cultural activities in which the participants will discuss important topics related to the Sahrawi cause.
The third edition of the International Youth Forum for Solidarity with the Western Sahara continues to take place in Bilbao in Spain. On the second day of the proceedings, participants took part in the 4 workshops scheduled during the forum. On Saturday in Spain always, Basque politicians reiterated their unconditional support for the Sahrawi people's struggle for self-determination, emphasizing the historical ties between this autonomous community and Western Sahara. And tonight we are shedding the light on the wall of shame in the Sahrawi territories. More than 10 million anti-personnel mines are spread in all over 2,700 kilometers by the Moroccan occupier. Death engines that continue to expose the people to permanent danger. While Morocco still refuses to sign the international convention banning anti-personnel mines. Wayne Bahir explains.
Embankment, parallel and anti-tank ditches equipped with barbed wire, a patrol road, fortified posts, artillery batteries and a field, or simply the wall of shame. It's a barrier of sand made by the Makhzen from August 1980 over 2,700 kilometers long, which cuts the Western Sahara from north to south. A region which continues to suffer from the consequences of anti-personnel mines and dotted with more than 10 million of 35 different types of anti-personnel mines to anti-tank mines, unfortunately, which are still buried along the wall of shame. Since November 2020, the date of the break-in of the ceasefire by Rabat, the Makhzen has hidden around 12,000 anti-personnel mines in the buffer zone of Gargarat. The UN and international organizations have even expressed concern about the quantity of mines along this wall.
I lost one leg and the other is paralyzed. I live here with my sister. Here there are many people who have been victims of anti-personnel mines. Unfortunately, nothing is guaranteed here to have access to care, and that is our big difficulty. Fortunately, we have the support of the Sahrawi Association of Victims of Anti-Personnel Mines and the Association of the Sahrawi People.
Ici au Sahara occidental, le fait de déminer est très important, surtout que nous
Here in Western Sahara, the mining is very important, especially as we deal with nomadic populations who travel and follow their herds of goats and camels.
A real military work which flagrantly violates the rules of the United Nations. Today, several UN and human rights organizations have called on many occasions for the need to stop this massacre. Western Sahara is ranked among the 10 most mined countries in the world. This wall is in perpetual consolidation with increasingly sophisticated electronic equipment, but also in continual extension, costing the Makhzen huge sums at a time when the people are languishing under the weight of poverty.
The number of Moroccan soldiers in it exceeds 120,000 Moroccan soldiers, and this wall costs the Moroccan occupation more than $1 million.
Practices that are shamefully used by totalitarian regimes. Indeed, the Makhzen and the Zionist entity also share another policy worthy of the apartheid regime. These two colonizers are undoubtedly the only regimes in the world to have made the walls of shame in Palestine or Western Sahara. The These two walls were designed by the same Zionist architect. As a reminder, the Makhzen refused to sign the 1997 Ottawa Treaty on the prohibition of the use, stockpiling, production and transfer of anti-personnel mines and their destruction, and the 2008 Convention on Cluster Munition, thus confirming the Makhzen's total disregard for the principles of the international community.
And the Makhzen decision concerning integrating Zionist students in Moroccan universities is causing a vast rage and controversy in the country, pushing students' unions to denounce again the normalization with the Zionist entity. Najah Tayar reports.
Ignoring the various denunciations of the Moroccan people, the Makhzen regime continues to pursue its policy of normalization with the Zionist entity, this time through the Abdel Malik Saadi University in Tangier, which recently sparked controversy by authorizing the enrollment of Zionist students in its master program. This decision provoked strong opposition among students, lecturers and anti-normalization organizations in Morocco, who see this initiative as a threat of infiltration into the Moroccan university system. The move was even described by Morocco's National Students' Union as a stab in the back for the Palestinian people, a move representing a moral decline for the university. Demonstrations and calls for mobilization are multiplying to block this decision, perceived as betrayal. Efforts also have been intensified criticizing the Moroccan university's policy of silence on the issue. The Student Renewal Organization and other groups argue that this decision paves the way for infiltration into the Moroccan university sector and undermines the integrity of scientific research, implementing the law granting Moroccan nationality to the Zionists long before it was adopted by the Moroccan parliament. For the first time, we witnessed the embodiment of the nationality granting to hundreds of thousands of Zionist Jews who took part in the war against Lebanese and Palestinians who they believe their blood is legal to be shed, to murderers also in their army, to military and political leaders, to commanders. All these would be granted nationality, and the Zionists are the ones imposing this policy here.
قادة وكل شيء غادي يتم تجنيد من كاين القادة العسكريين والقادة كذلك السياسيين وجميع كذلك الضباط ضرب عليها وشكون غادي يوضع لنا هذه الطائفة اليهودية.
While the president of Al-Quds Committee is noticeably absent during the various crises affecting the Moroccan society, this law comes to ensure protection for war criminals responsible for the deaths of thousands of innocent Palestinians and Lebanese.
To Lebanon now for the latest developments on the Zionist aggression. A large Zionist strike has been carried out on the central commercial area of Nabaiti, a major city in southern Lebanon. While the Red Cross teams are responding, the flames caused are making it harder to control the situation. And the Zionist air raids targeted several residential buildings in southern Lebanon, causing the death of 3 people and the injury of 3 others in the town of Bisaira. 4 martyrs were killed as a result of the Zionist raids in Baalbek and Harm al-Azwal. The Lebanese Ministry of Health has announced the martyrdom of about 60 people and the injury of 168 others in the last 24 hours. This comes at a time when the caretaker PM Najib Mikati called on the International Security Council to take an immediate action to stop the Zionist aggression on Lebanon. And Algeria expressed, along with the elected members of the UNSC, the deep concern over the violent attacks on several sites belonging to international peacekeeping forces of UNIFIL in Lebanon. Attacks that caused the death of several peacemakers. The members called for the implementation of the Resolution 1701, which calls for respect of international humanitarian law and immediate ceasefire. At least 50 people died in Gaza in the last 24 hours following the Zionist aggression, committing 5 new massacres in the enclave. Thousands of Palestinians have been trapped inside Jabalia refugee camp by the Zionist forces while escalating deadly attacks. The death toll in this northern part only is shocking after the 7 days of the siege, and following U.S. efforts, patients are being moved from Canal Adwan Hospital. The siege imposed affected the hospital as it has been running out of life-saving supplies. And that was it for today's news. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you tomorrow.